Welcome to another episode, and this will just be a short update, hopefully, of what's been going on ever since the last one. I think we did 4 performance tracking of engines A and B. Here they are, and they were in drawdown ever since going live in November of last year. So it's been 2 months ever since. It's uncomfortable, but it's not unexpected, because if I pull up, so I did a back test of engine B for the year 2025 from 1st of January until the same day of 2026. In that year, engine B would have gone into a 22% drawdown by the third month in March, before slowly recovering by the middle of the year in June and heading into profit. So that's 6 months underwater. Uncomfortable, but this is the path that the engines were designed for. So nothing's out of place there. Despite the performance, engineering development has continued since December up until now. So I've been building the ZenWave platform. Engines A and B were just one big monolithic code. It was just trying to answer the question if it will work, and fortunately it passed Monte Carlo stress testing, walk-forward validation, and that's why they are live. And before even considering going into research of engine C, which is planned for this year, I decided to create a good foundation where the engines could be built on. So with the platform, things like price normalization, order management, position management, telemetry, and logging. As you can see here, these are now the logs and other important stuff that can be reused across engines. So not relating to strategy, but just how to execute the strategies and how to connect to the brokers, which I can easily switch out later on. So I've been busy building the platform. I was also busy porting over the original A and B engine into it. There were good lessons learned. I was able to review the whole strategy, the rules, and was able to make them explicit, putting them into the pipeline, logging every decision. And yeah, I was able to achieve 100% parity of the outcome of the backtest, which is important, meaning that the logic hasn't changed. And so one of the important things that I found out was potential risks, like if there were ongoing trades. So this is a long-term engine where a trade can go on for weeks, days or weeks, and what would happen if the bot had to restart or it crashed. I was using in-memory state for the original C bot, and I would have lost that state. And if the bot did crash while positions were open, then there would be no way to update the stop loss locking or adjustments. And then the backtest would mismatch what happens live. So all of these issues were other issues that were fixed. Nothing that would affect the outcome so far in the last 2 months that the engines were running live. And so, yeah, that was a lot of work. Part of it was telemetry. You can see they are coded, and we'll be able to go back in the past, check why or why not a trade was made. Yeah, just a new stable platform where research could be easily done. So one of this is the charting. But before that, I would also just like to show the diagnostics tool. So since it's a shared platform, I'm also able to create this diagnostics tool to test all the functions from the platform, make sure everything is working well. It's just a good engineering design. So I can just run it. It tests things like order management, position management, risk calculation, price normalization, all the important things that I want to be stable in case that the code changes, make sure that it's still working as they should. It's also testing, for example, action required. It's testing if the bot needed to stop and to reprime it with open positions, making sure I can rely on the system. Yeah. And going back into the engine research. So part of it was having this good overlay on the charts. As you can see, I've already begun research into not specifically for engine C strategy, but just to have a context state. So far I've been able to lock in the session. So this is just Sydney, Tokyo, London, London, New York, overlap, New York, and back to the Asia session, and daily locations such as previous day high, previous day low, and previous day close position. And this is also all taking into account daylight savings time changes. So you can see they are locked in to a absolute anchor point. You can contrast that to, for example, this used to confuse me before. If I open up the grid and period separators, like what constitutes a trading day, you can see these lines. And if I switch the time zone of the application, these things would switch around, and it would be confusing and hard to build a system out of this, and especially looking at the charts, and this one shifted. Say if I traveled to some other place and this one would change, it wouldn't be something very reliable to look at. Yeah, let me just switch that back to my local time zone, and I can remove that. So the new overlays built on ZenWave, will not be using those to look at, are based on anchor points, so they will remain stable through summer and winter. And what's good about them is I could scroll all the way to whatever time in the past, and the overlays will update accordingly. I could switch up the period, and it's the same. So this will help in the research. These are the 2 out of the 4 locked in. The next ones will be volatility, and then balance versus expansion state, which will aid in engine C, or the short-term horizon engine. Yeah. That's all for now, and see you on the next one.